Norton Brewery Flagship IPA.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. Got another one from Norton. These are a really good brewery. They do some fantastic ales, and I've tried a few of them, reviewed them on the channel as well, and they were so good I decided to buy quite a few of them. So I've got a fair few to review. So keep an eye out for them. They're usually really good. And I saw the description of Flagship, and I don't know whether I've told you, but I do like my British IPAs. In fact, I probably preferred British IPAs to American IPAs. Don't get me wrong, American IPAs are nice. I just think British IPAs are nicer. They're more what I'm into, if you know what I mean. I'm not knocking people who like the American style IPA. You know, it's all about taste. Back to this. This is from the Norton Brewery. They're based in a place called Banbury in Oxfordshire, up near the Midlands, not too far from the Midlands. Oxford, everyone's heard of Oxford, haven't they? They've got a couple of schools up there that are half decent, apparently. Don't know whether that's true. I left school with absolutely no qualifications whatsoever. Booted out, unfortunately. Anyway, enough about that. More on that later. This brewery, as I say, they do quite a good range of traditional British beers. They're not really into the craft beer craze. They do a lot of, traditional British stuff. The IPAs they do a golden ale. They do a blonde. Is it a blonde? No, not a blonde ale. They do a ruby ale as well. And yeah, generally good at what they do. This was first brewed in 2005, and it was to celebrate the victory at Trafalgar 200 years previously. And if you don't know about the Battle of Trafalgar, that was basically the Royal Navy fighting the combined navies of France and Spain off the coast of Spain, or Cape Trafalgar as it was known back then. And they basically kicked their asses. They destroyed 22 of their ships, and the British lost none. And of course, who was the man? Nelson. And fittingly, this has got admirable it's got admiral hops in it. I'll go into them in a bit. But needless to say, everything about this is British. And this is quite a good beer apparently. It's won 5 awards. Recently won 5 awards. So it's got a bit of a reputation. So let's check it out. 500ml bottle, 5.3%. On the back it says ingredients: water, barley, malt and hops. Brewed at Norton Brewery, Norton, Oxfordshire. Now I've heard the address is Banbury. I've heard it called Oxon. Norton. It's up there, you know the area. What does it say about the actual beer? It says originally brewed to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Battle of Trafalgar, a proper India Pale Ale with a fruity mouthfeel, sweet aroma, and powerful admirable. It's fucking admiral hops. Flagship. It says colour is light bronze, smell marmalade and fruit, taste rich orange zest. Okay, right. Let's get this Admiral hop out of the way. Admiral hop is well known for its bittering qualities, and it's got quite high alpha acid, so that's in demand for that. But it's also got fruity aromas like citrus fruit. I'm imagining that's where the orange comes from that they're talking about. But it's also got what people have described as like a tea type flavour to it. I've not really noticed that, but maybe there'll be a beer out there that I can actually get that flavour from. If you've ever had a beer with Challenger hops in it, North Down or Target hops, they're very similar to the Admiral hop. So them 3 hops are obviously British hops, and that sort of gives you an idea of what sort of flavour is going to be in this beer. So let's stop guessing, and let's open this beer. Right, plain blue cap, nothing to see here. On the nose, interesting. There is a mild citrus, orange citrus in there, and that's about it. It's very low on aroma, which is unusual. I thought there would have been more. Let's get it into the glass. Maybe I'll get some more out of that. Give it a swirl. Oh yeah, now we're talking. This is what I would have expected. Sweet. Orange, sweet orange. Nice, very fruity. There's also some apple in there as well that I'm getting. But it's got a lovely sweet sort of aroma, and it smells like caramel malt that's in there too. Does smell nice. There's a little touch of spirit alcohol I'm getting from that as well. So this is shaping up to be a good one. Now, of course, the ultimate IPA for me was the Shepherd Neame IPA. That was absolutely amazing. Another good one is Bengal Lancer. Let's see what the Hook Norton Brewery can do. Bottoms up. Nice. This is what an IPA should taste like. None of your astringent hops like you get in your West Coasts or your fruit cocktails in your East Coast. This is how it's done. There's a base of caramel malt. There's layers of fruit on there. Not big fruit, subtle fruit. It's like orange. Slight bitterness to the orange that I'm getting. The tea that they're talking about, I'm not really getting that at all. It's more about the light fruit and the malt on this. Some nice floral notes on that as well. Almost like lavender. If that makes any sense. Maybe I'm getting the tea now. I'm getting like a fruity tea, if you can imagine that. Like a cup of tea with some orange juice in it. This is really nice, but the caramel malt just calms all that stuff down and it turns into a superbly balanced beer. Really nice. And I've been told that on the brewery tours of the Hook Norton Brewery, they obviously do the tours and stuff like that, but when they're going round, people always comment on the smell. It is apparently a really nice aroma. I've not done a tour, so I can't really comment, but I've been told that. And it turns out that smell that everybody's talking about, the lovely aromas that are coming out from when they're brewing this stuff, the lovely fruity aromas coming out of this Flagship stuff are really noticeable. And when you do take a nose on there, they're very subtle. They're not like your normal IPAs, you know, your masses of hops, just, you know, your American style. This is a hell of a lot more subtle, but it's nice. You can smell that caramel malt in there now. As it warms up slightly, the caramel malt becomes a little more dominant. It's just a nice, easy drinking British IPA. For flavour, you're going to have to go a long way to beating the Shepherd Neame IPA. For me, that was a standout beer. Really was. Probably the best British IPA out there. Closely followed by Bengal Lancer. Bengal Lancer's more like this stuff. I think the Shepherd Neame stuff stood out on its own for just the superb malt that was in it. The Bengal Lancer and this stuff, very similar. They've got the same idea, but it's lovely. This is really nice. Supremely drinkable as well. Mouthfeel is lovely. If you look at there, can you see that carbonation? That carbonation is very slight. You will get an absolutely amazing mouthfeel with bubbles that small, and that's what I'm getting in mine. Lovely. It's warmed up slightly now. The flavours have become a little bit bigger. Not massive, but just a little bit bigger than they were. Lovely. Really good effort, but I would have expected nothing else from Hook Norton. So what's the verdict on this? Yeah, another good one from Hook Norton. They just get things right. They're like Adnams, they're like Sam Smiths, they're like them Fullers as well. They're just good, solid, traditional British beers. You know, they don't stray too much from the path, and they just get things right. I really like this. It's got everything I would expect from a British IPA. Subtle British hops, caramel malt, very drinkable. The ABV is 5.3, so this is probably the most sessionable out of the three I've just mentioned. You know, the Shepherd Neame IPA, the Fuller's Bengal Lancer, which I think is 6%. That's a bit of a creeper, that one. You've got to be careful. You know, you can be knocking that back and all of a sudden it just hits you. But this is really nice. I do like this. Really good. I'm going to give that, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. Reason I won't give it more is because I think the Bengal Lancer and the Shepherd Neame I think are better. But I'll tell you something, there's not much in it. This is a good one. Very drinkable. And on a warm day, if I was looking for an easily sessionable, I mean, I've done it before with Bengal Lancer. They sell Bengal Lancer around the corner and I always go and get some. But I have to curb it because it's a little sort of 6%. You're just straying into that territory where if you knock it back, you're going to be flat on your back. But their stuff, if I had that around the corner, I'd be buying that and just drinking this. When I get the Bengal Lancer, I normally get a couple of bottles. They do the honeydew around there as well, the honey beer, and that's really nice. That's just like a lager, if you like, and it's got more flavour obviously, and it just goes down nicer. But if I had this, I'd just buy this because this is really drinkable, full of flavour, and it won't make you fall over. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10, recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.